Hey, Claude. Perfect. Alrighty. So we got David starting the team call. And David, for those that don't know, bro, just kind of give us the backstory on who you are, how long you've been at FFL, and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so born and raised in small town, Findlay, Ohio. Many people know of it. Went to college at Ohio University 2017 and graduated there within 3 years with a finance background. Always loved numbers, but just didn't know what to do with the degree. So I got out of college. I found myself in kind of a hole. Didn't really know how to get out of it. So I just thought, hey, I'm just going to start from ground zero and find the shittiest job I could find and then work our way up from there. So I got a pest control job, just spraying bugs with one of my NA sponsors. And, that was hell. So I did that for about 8 months. And then I bought a house right outside of college, got mailed out some of the mortgage protection mail that we all love, and came to my house, presented in front of me. I was pretty blown away by the product and what it did, and then even more blown away when they said I get all my money back. So at the end of it,
Let me stop you there. So you were lead. So you filled out a lead. You put it back in. Who came over for the appointment?
So that was Mindy Tibbs' husband, Andrew. He's not with us anymore. But yeah, he came out from Cleveland to meet with me.
Dude, this is a great story. Don't skip any steps. Like, tell them the story because it's hilarious.
Okay. So yeah, it was just like another day, and I had all this fucking mail come through, and I was like, what is this? And I just like called into one. I heard a teleprompt, I think, and I like hung up because I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. So couple hours later, got a call coming in from Mindy, and I like booked the appointment just like out of subconscious, not even like thinking to write down anything. And I was like busy. So he came the next day, drove all the way from Cleveland, and I no-showed him. I was like gone. Oh, here's a crazy thing. I no-showed him, but I was at my house. I was just hiding upstairs, bro, because I thought it was the cops coming like I'm like, oh shit, it's finally my time now. So I was like hiding in my room. Yeah, dude. I literally did, man. Like I remember hearing the knock and like thinking back at it, that was him. And I just like ignored it. And then she called me back the same day and reset it for the next day because he was staying around town. And he came back, and as I was like leaving my house to go grocery shopping for the day, it was my day off. That's like what I did for fun back in the day. I was going grocery shopping, like as I opened the door, he was like right in front of me and like about to knock. It was like the perfect timing. I'm like, who are you? He's like, I'm Andrew. I'm here for an appointment. I'm like, oh fuck. Like I totally forgot about that. Like I was like set to go. I was like had my day already planned. I'm like, come on, man. Like let's get this done real quick.
It's like Andrew mortgage protection. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I'm like, I totally forgot.
You say.
So he comes in, he's like making some small talk with me and stuff, and I'm kind of seeing right through it already. Brings me to my kitchen table. And we're like going over like his state license, and I'm like thinking like, dude, anyone could have printed and laminated this shit. Like, give me some like something real. And I was real skeptical throughout the appointment. I was kind of like zoned out a little bit too, like not really focusing in on him. Because he was just talking the whole time. So I was zoning out, and then he's talking about the living benefits, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I was asking him a lot of tough questions. And then he told me at the end I got my money back. I was like, what the hell? Like, this has to be a scam. Like, who are you again? And he just told me like, hey, let's just see if we can get you approved. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And I think at that point he kind of just like gave up or something, because like I was down to just like go through with it, and he just kind of like packed his stuff up, and I was really confused then. And I was like, hey man, wait, before you leave, like I know this was like a sale, what would you have made if you would have closed this? And he broke down the commission structure, and dude, I was mind blown when he told me I was gonna make 100% of that commission, or he was going to. And I was like, 100% of the $86 that you just showed me? He's like, no, the annual premium. I'm like, whoa, dude, holy shit. Like, this is just like what I used to be doing, like way back in the day. And so I was like, how do I get involved? Gave me Mindy's number. I waited probably a month and a half because I was still like job searching, and called her. She scared me out of it, and I just told myself, like, this is it. Like, I have really nowhere else to go, so might as well just give it my all.
Dude, let's go. That's a great story. So you joined FFL. How was your first couple weeks here?
For having absolutely no sales experience, I mean, it was rough, don't get me wrong, but it's not like it was spraying bugs in Section 8 housing. You know what I mean? Like, all I was doing was just sitting there and dialing. I mean, I got my ass ripped, man. Like, I was terrible at communication. I mean, that's the number one reason why like all my relationships haven't worked out in the past. It's terrible at communicating. So getting on the phone for me was very foreign. I did not like it, but I kept pushing through. And the second day I went out in the field this is when I was running it in person. I made my first sale. It's like the third presentation. Super nice couple. From there, it kind of like clicked with me, and I was like, in my car, it was an old Honda Civic, like 2001, piece of shit. It was like punching holes in my roof, bro, like denting the shit out of it because I made that sale. I was so happy. I specifically remember that. I had like cheetah print seats and everything in that mug. But after that,
that was the Benz.
Yeah, yeah. And then I upgraded the Benz, yeah, after about month 2 of being here. But after like I made that sale, man, I was just like, man, dude, like that was fast, easy, quick. Like, I'm excited to go back on the phones now. So I just started ripping from there, dude.
Right. Dude, that's awesome. Okay. So what, probably took you about a couple weeks to figure it out?
It took me longer than that, man. Like I was just, I mean, figuring out as far as like knowing that I just had to put the appointments in my favor. Yeah. I mean, for sure. But like, I didn't know like what I was doing whatsoever. I was just booking so many appointments that I couldn't fail.
Right. Okay. So what do you think your biggest, if you give us like the top 3 of like your biggest struggles first starting, your first month here, what would you say those were?
Man, my top 3 struggles was emotion. That was my number 1 was emotion, man. I couldn't control my emotions at all. The second one, I would probably say probably my organization, keeping myself organized. And then I'd say if I had to pick a third, it would probably be I don't want to say consistency. I'd say discipline in like what I was doing with my health and like how I was going about like my daily lifestyle, just not keep it in check and mainly just focusing on work, which in the end kind of like hurt me a bit. Still is hurting me.
Okay, understood, man. Well, let's touch on those. So your emotions. So like when you first started, it was you were riding the roller coaster, the highs and the lows.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
As we all did. What were some things that helped you just like stay more even keel and level and not bring the emotion into business?
Not getting too excited when I made sales or any big sales. Like, you know, I would celebrate in my head just real quick, just like
in the middle of like a fight. We got the mini Arby's. Like, I do not need to see the right.
Dorian got some shit going on there.
Anyway.
I would say not getting super excited or like going to boast and brag about like the sale that I made to keep me on that high. And then like when I didn't get a sale, looking at it as like a learning moment to be able to reach out instead of being like, you know, like I missed that sale. I was looking at it. I started looking at more as like, okay, what can I learn from this to get me to the next one?
Right. Okay. Got it. So that's super key. So I hope you guys took notes. So like, don't like, it doesn't matter. Like when you make a sale, not getting super excited, but also what I loved was you said is like, you took every mistake as a learning curve. And here it's like, especially when an agent's new is like, they'll fumble, they'll mess stuff up, they won't close the deal. And then they'll be frustrated because they didn't close it. But I'm like, dude, honestly, what you learned in that appointment is so much better than you even closing a deal on the commission. And it's like, and it also costs, $1,000, $2,000. You're probably not going to make that mistake again. But if you don't go through those valleys and make those mistakes, then you're never going to grow, because it's just something you got to do. So, okay. That's, so your second one was organization. So what are some things you do in your business now to stay organized?
Dude, I am like organized to the T now. Like there's nothing that's outside that's not organized. Like emails, file folders for everything. My goal is to make sure that I have minimum 5 or max 5 emails in my inbox. Like everything else I sort through. I throw them in the archive, I delete them, I put them in the folders, whatever's important, like policy requirements. Dude, I missed out on so many clients I just let fall through the cracks because I was not keeping up my emails and like my chargebacks. So like I have an Excel file with all my chargebacks. I have a client list with everyone I've sold so I can go do annual reviews. Everything from organizing my leads in the morning before I started dialing instead of trying to do it the day of or during dial days to waste time, to making sure like my finances were aligned and making sure that I'm paying myself a certain amount of money each week and using the rest as business money. So like I was looking at the pot as like, oh, I made 20K this week, but no, it's my business made 20K. I made 2K. Because that's what I paid myself.
Right. And I would recommend for everybody on this call to set up a business account that like when you get those commissions, the commission, like you don't even see them in your account. Like it goes in the business account, and I don't check my business account out. Like and then all of your personal expenses and what you spend money on, put that in your personal bank account. Like David said, this is a business. It's a real freaking business. So treat it as a business. Okay. It's not your money, it's the business's. David, how much money do you think it costed you in the beginning not being organized?
Man, bro. Like if you think about like organizing leads that take an hour in the morning, especially at 8 a.m., like that's the golden hour, dude. Like that alone is gonna make you $5,000 just setting appointments and dialing right there. Like that 1 hour can make you $5,000. So like, man, I'd say tens of thousands, man. Like because if you divide out, what you're producing, let's just even say my first month here, or second month was 18 grand, right? So divide that out by 30 days, 6 days a week for work hours, and then 12 hours is what I work a day or what I work. So it's like $25 an hour. $25 an hour that you're wasting on just organizing leads. Why not hire just a VA to do that? And it's going to be even cheaper than if you were to do it.
What do you pay your VA?
What do I pay my VA? $210 a week.
That's nothing, bro. That's nothing. Like everybody on this call, every single person on this call can afford a VA. Like if you guys don't know where to find a VA, text me and I'll hook you up. But I've got 3 VAs, bro, on top of them. It's like it's gotten to the point, like I was the same way as you. Like I was super unorganized, it cost me tens of thousands of dollars, and I've got everything dialed now. And that's just super, super important to the organization. It's one thing that's not talked about enough.
It's not, dude. And like, you are what your business is, man. And like, if your business is if you're unorganized, and your business is unorganized, and that can set you back majorly because now, my cost per hour when I'm sleeping is $120. So like a VA for $210, that's 2 hours out of my day compared to having them for a full week, dude. It makes your life a lot easier having one. You need to get a VA. If you're doing 20+K a week or a month, then you should probably consider a VA.
Also staying on top of the pending requirements. Do you have like a certain like routine or like you like check it, like do you take care of all that on Sunday or like anything like that to make sure that the policies like no policies slip through the cracks and everything gets put in force?
Yeah, good question, man. So I typically will take like Mondays. I'll pick
Okay.
one day to just like knock out policy requirements. But if you're really like, I've now just like caught up to where like my emails are like minimized. So like when something comes in, boom, I just knock it out real quick. It takes like 10, 15 minutes. I used to get analysis by paralysis, bro, and just leave them in there because I'd get scared to call my clients back and ask them for requirements. And then be like a week later, they're like, we decided we didn't want it. You just get it done quick. So you don't have to like go back and like talk to them again. Like
Right.
I was waiting way too long.
Right. And for me, I realized like I used to procrastinate a lot of stuff and push it out. And I realized that was so much more stressful, like procrastinating, pushing stuff out and delaying it than just getting it done right then and there. So like if I get an email or like pending requirements or anything I need to take care of, like I do it right then and there. I don't procrastinate, I don't push it off. And dude, it typically only takes like a minute, 2 minutes. Yeah. So that's key. Cool, man. Well, thirdly is you struck on discipline, and you touched briefly on burnout and having the right discipline. So what were some things you were doing before and when you first started where you're lacking in the area?
Like where I was struggling with discipline.
Yes.
I'll just be 100 with you guys. I try to be like super real on all these calls. And I hope like I can relate to someone in this call, at least one person. But in the beginning, man, like I was still really struggling with my drug use. It was on and off periodically, whether it was, smoking weed or popping pills. I carried that with me for like 6 months in this business. And it hurt me a lot, man. Like a lot. I would just keep getting up and being tired as hell and just running to my appointments. And I would do like 10 appointments a day. Like I was so burnt out, dude. I just kept dragging myself along, not working out, not watching what I ate. And I know like it could have been a lot easier. I put myself through a lot of stress that didn't need to happen if I would have just kind of, I guess, not like if I would have gave myself, I guess, like another day to rest, because I was working 7 days a week sometimes last week because I was just so money hungry. Like I never really touched the amount of money I was touching previously before I got here. So like it was all new to me. I was really excited, but like in the end, that hurt my relationships with like my family outside. My physical well-being wasn't looking good. I was real skinny, like 150, 155. I'm 6'4", so I looked sick. So that was something that was like really, really tough for me, man. I think that like sleep is very, very important to this. And I was like sleep deprivated all the time. I don't even really know how I hit Hall of Fame last year with like the constant tiredness that I was going through. And I still like struggled with it this year. Not so much like the drug use part, but just more so like getting myself on a routine that I could stick to keep me sane. And like, oddly enough, dude, I just kind of like set a routine this week to where like now I'm going to start taking every other Saturday off and then Mondays off from producing and then just do my 8 to 5 on Monday, go home at 5 like a regular job, and then have a Saturday and a Sunday back to back off every other month or every other week so that I can recharge myself. Because like I can go 6 days, but also like if I go 6 days hard in the paint every day with producing, I find myself just like scrolling on Instagram or getting super sidetracked and not being intentional with my work. So if I get those recharge days and I come in with intentionality, like I'll get a lot more done in less time. Because I would always get guilty about not working. And that guilt came from not intentionally working when I was.
Mm.
So I think work-life balance is one of the most important things, especially for our industry and in this business, because it's 80% mental what we go through. You have to have a sharp mind the whole time. You have to.
And I'm sure now that you're taking those rest days, you're so much more productive and dialed now that you're doing it. So dude, I would bet you're getting more done grinding 5-6 days a week than when you were grinding 7.
Dude, I feel so much more free now. Like even after this week's change of like just putting it into action. I've been doing it for about 2 weeks now. But yeah, I feel like I have more flexibility and freedom over my schedule now by taking those days off, oddly enough, because I just feel more recharged and feel like I can get more stuff done. I feel motivated and happy to go into work. Like the reason why we're doing this is to become our own business owners and have that work-life balance. Like even if I only made 30K net profit or even 20K net profit at the end of the year, but I still had control over my schedule and my well-being, like, dude, that's where I'd want to be rather than being in corporate America, you know what I mean? And enslaving for someone else's work. Like, that's just me.
Right. I agree 100%. It's just like, it's not worth it to be a slave, and enjoying what you do is key. And it's everything. So cool. Well, so you got, and I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing, dude. So you got sober, started to implement, like figured out like a consistent routine and schedule, stuck to that, as well as sounds like you started like working out, eating cleaner, like focusing on what you're putting in your body to have more of a healthy mind.
Yeah. I'm starting to gain some weight now. I feel good.
Oh, dude, you're getting big, bro. I see your stories. You're in the gym, dude. You're looking good. Let's go. Awesome. Well, for everybody on this call, if you wouldn't mind, dude, just walk us through what does a daily schedule look like for you now that you've implemented those things day to day?
Yeah. So it's pretty lax now, man, and I'm still able to produce. Minimum of 10 each week is like my absolute minimum, but I shoot for 20, and I'm still sticking right in between those. But it's waking up in the morning at 8 o'clock. Sometimes if it's Monday, I'll do 9 o'clock. But 8 o'clock, I'm on there dialing till about 10, 11 o'clock. And at that point, I'll then have my full evening packed and some of tomorrow scheduled up. I'll then go to the gym from like noon and lunch to 2. So I have a 2-hour break in the afternoon that I take every day. And then from 2 o'clock on out to about 9 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday, I'm running appointments pretty heavily. And then also like listening in and training my people. And then Saturdays, I'll run appointments from 8 a.m. till about 6, 7 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock, depending on how I feel. And then, like I said, Mondays, it's mainly just all my meetings from 2 o'clock to about 5, 6. And then, I've been running appointments, but now I'm going to start dipping home at that time and kind of just taking some me time.
Okay. Dedicate more towards building. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's solid. So
yeah, and it's really not complicated though, man. I want to get like the gym in the morning so I can have more of my day, but baby steps at a time.
Baby steps for sure. And one common thing I've seen with people in the business is like they'll like work really hard, work, and like just go hard, and then they'll burn out and they'll take like a week, 2 weeks off, and then they'll get some chargebacks, some will be broke, and then they'll be stressed and they'll work really hard and like take another week, 2 weeks off. And it's just like this cycle that I see a lot of people stuck in. So it's like, it doesn't matter like what your schedule is, just like figure out like what's sustainable for you, what you can do long-term and stick to that. That's key.
Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of people have like the idea in their mind that this is like a sprint to the finish line to like a million. But in reality, man, like this is my long term. So like, why am I sprinting? Like it's a marathon at the end of the day. So burnout is real, man. And like, I don't like going through burnout and trying to produce because it just sucks. You don't want to be there. You just, you find any excuse not to be there, really. And that's not fair to the families on the other end.
It's true. That's true, man. Yeah, 100%. And so cool. Well, I think that was super helpful. I mean, even for me, I took notes on that. But let's get into more of like the tactical sales side of things. What leads are you running?
So I do mortgage protection. I've been dipping a little bit back into second chance, believe it or not, just because the mail's pretty slow. Been doing like call-ins. I got a pretty good stack of call-ins that come in a day, and then Facebook is another big thing that we've been trying to figure out. I think it's going to be the new wave, but I feel like no one has it completely figured out yet. So that's kind of like the mission, is to just like see how we can get that to work.
Okay, cool. So right now, mainly working direct mail mortgage leads.
Yeah, not like mailbacks, but call-ins. The mailbacks are a little too expensive for me now.
Got it. So okay, so primarily doing call-ins, fresh call-ins. How much is your lead spend? How much is your lead spend a week?
3,500 to 4K now. I like to buy back my time. So in this business, you can either have time or you have money, and I'm blessed to have worked hard enough to have a good chunk saved up to where, like, I spend the money so I can get back my time. I don't have to dial along. If people say no, I don't give a shit. I'm on to the next person because I have so many leads to work through. It's just like, it's really nice not to have to stress about having to like, compress every lead down to the last one. So I spend my way to get there.
Dude, that's solid, and that's super key. I mean, especially since like in your situation where you're building, and anybody on this call that wants to build a team, I would highly recommend upping your people and investing in higher quality leads. Because dude, it's like you don't have time to like sit and grind the phones off. Like you're busy. You got agents to help. You got stuff to do. This, that, and etc. So you've got a little bit more of an aggressive lead spending that makes sense. So cool. And then with that, so you're investing about 4K a week. How much are you paying a month?
Bare minimum, like this week I did like 11 and a half. But I've been, for the past 2 months, I've been sticking around 15 to 20, and that's been pretty comfortable for me. So I'm striving to keep it consistent at 20.
Oh, dude, it's doing about 50, 60 a month. So
yeah. I actually did my biggest month last month, 78, and I was really impressed with myself.
That's impressive, bro. Let's go. Nice work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Leading from the front. That's solid. Okay. And so call me like, so you're doing a lot of call-ins. So if you wouldn't mind, dude, just roll us through your phone script and call me like I'm a lead.
Okay. Ring. Hello, Jonah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is David. I'm just having to touch base with you real quick about your file for your property at 123 Main Street. They had just closed out with Rocket Mortgage. I just got to confirm some info with you real quick. That's all. I'll let you go here.
Okay.
So it was right after closing. We had sent you something pretty important in the mail in regards to mortgage protection. That's that coverage that would pay off your home if you were to get sick or pass away. Now, do you remember seeing anything like that come through?
Yeah, I think I got a ton of mail about that.
Yeah, yep. So that's actually the reason I'm calling you, Jonah. I'm the manager that's assigned to meet with you for about 15, 20 minutes to go over that with you. And then from there, you can disregard the rest of that mail you're getting. It should be slowing down here pretty soon. Okay.
Okay.
And then just for security, Jonah, you are currently residing at the 123 Main Street here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay. Just you in the household, or is there a significant other or a spouse residing with you?
Yeah, I got a spouse.
Spouse, okay, right on. And are you guys both working like typical 9 to 5s, or is it different hours for you?
Yeah, it's pretty typical. Usually home by about 5.
Okay. Are you working right now, or are you home together?
I'm actually home.
Okay.
My wife.
What was that? Sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually it's my day off with the wife actually. We're just
Right
trying.
on. Okay. And do you have a pen and paper on hand by chance?
I do.
Okay, we'll just need that throughout our meeting here. What's a good email for you, Jonah?
It's gonna be jonalewis@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'm sending over my state license to you along with my Zoom link. Go ahead and grab your wife and just let me know when that email pops over.
Okay, 1 sec. Okay.
Okay. Right on. So again, that's just my state license right there. You can see my driver's license below and a couple of the carriers that we partner with. Did you also get my Zoom link there?
Yeah, it looks like I in the calendar invite.
Yeah. No, no, it's my Zoom link. It says join meeting right there. You familiar with Zoom?
Oh, I'm a little bit older. I haven't used Zoom, but okay. Do I have to click it?
Yeah, not a problem. Just go ahead and click that link. They may have you download it. It takes like 30 seconds, and then from there you'll be able to hop in where I'm at.
Okay, cool. I'll have the wife help me figure it out.
Awesome. I'll stay on the phone with you. If you need any of my help, just let me know.
Perfect. All right.
And then Jonah, we owe 150K on the home, and then I'm rolling right into it.
Boom. Money. Just like real matter of fact, real smooth. Like
Mhm.
like the tone, like you're not like up here, you're not down here, you're just going about your job, dude. Like it's just a natural part of the process. Like if you called me up and I just bought the home, I'd be like, oh, cool. I mean, like just something like I gotta do, like protection on the home, takes care of the home if sick, disabled, pass away. Makes sense.
And you don't want to ask them, do you have 15-20 minutes to go over this right now? It takes about 15-20 minutes, and that's you just being assumptive, like you're calling to get this done right now. You're not calling to set an appointment.
Right.
For me, I'm one call closing, and it's super assumptive to where like, hey, like we're doing this. And then if you sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying that's super solid. So you're just calling them up, dude, one call closing it, getting them on Zoom and closing it down.
Yeah, I close probably a third to half of my appointments from doing that.
Okay, nice. Because I know for a long, long time you were just all over the phone. So what made you switch from over the phone to Zoom?
Dude, I love in person so much. Like,
Right.
there's nothing like it, man. Like shaking their hands, like being able to go to their house and meet them face to face. And when I went over the phone, it was great and all because I got to, stay at home and dial, not to drive everywhere. But I wasn't getting that connection like I was. So I was like thinking, what could be the best of both worlds? And that was Zoom and FaceTime, to where like I'm in my underwear right now, but I'm also face to face with you.
Best of both worlds, dude. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. And I know for a while you and your squad, you guys were all working from home versus going into the office. Tell us about the difference between that and what made you guys get an office.
Yeah, I mean, it's just distractions, man. Like everyone was really kind of away from each other. We were all kind of distracted in our own way, just being at home. When you work from home all the time, it starts to feel more of like a prison sentence. And we just needed something to where we were all together and to where we could start growing our culture. Because when we were together, we had a lot of fun doing it. I would have like 12, 15 people at my house at a time, just locked in there, doing what we could to improvise. And we were having fun doing it. So I wanted to get something that was something we could call our own and be happy to go to. And productivity since getting this has been skyrocketing. Being able to coach people one-on-one is huge. Having an office, and then also just like the environment, man. Like you don't want to be just stuck at your house all day, get off the phone, then just go walk 5 steps over your bed and go to bed, and then wake up, walk 5 steps to your desk and start working. Like that shit sucks.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude. You need structure in your life. You need somewhere where you're gonna go and treat this like a job.
Right. Exactly. It's like if you worked for a boss, dude, you would never like show up at 9, 10 o'clock or whenever you wanted to. if you had a job, you would never be like, I don't feel like working today. It's like this is the same thing. It's now you're your own boss. So you should be more structured with your schedule, more disciplined than you were before. 100%. Dude, and it's funny because you talk about the production skyrocketed, and I see the same thing. It's like every week I look at the IP report, and it's like there's typically a direct correlation between the people that come into the office, the people that work from home, and their production. And it's just like interesting to see the numbers.
I think it's funny, dude, to see those numbers happen. And then it's not really funny, but I think, and I actually honestly hate to see it, but it's like people come to the office and they'll be here, doing their thing. They'll be super productive when they're around everyone, and then they'll just go home and never come back again, or not come back for a while. And it's like, dude, like every time you're here with us, you're doing 3K a day or 5K in the week, and like you're still choosing to hurt yourself and go home and not like be around the heat. And I just have to ask myself, like, why? I just don't understand it. But to his their own.
Right. At the end of the day, as Miles would say, it's an insurance organization, not a babysitting organization.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's like that, that in person, like just being around. We've all heard the saying, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. So why would you not choose to surround yourself with killers and people performing on a high at the end of the day? And also like people that are going to hold you accountable. Accountability equals love. The people that truly care about us in life are the people that are willing to tell us the truth, whether we want to hear it or not.
Put that right ahead.
Cool, dude. So so when you so let's hit some rebuttals, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you call me up. I'm lead. Hey David, is this required?
No, this isn't required anymore. It's something that used to be included into your loan. It is really important for me to go over it with you though, and see if it's something that even makes sense for your situation. And then from there, we can complete out your file. Now, Jonah, I have your age here is 42. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay, perfect. And do you have a pen and paper on hand by chance?
Boom. That was gold. Like, do you guys see how you just like acknowledge the objection, moved on, no change in emotion, nothing. Okay. Yeah, David, we really like you, dude. We're for sure gonna get it, but we obviously, we don't have to sign anything today, do we?
So we'll be seeing if we can get you approved today.
Okay. Got
Yep.
it.
Now, Jonah, do you want my recommendation?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously the 400,000, it looks great, right? But maybe it's something that doesn't just fit in the budget yet. What I would suggest for you, since you are the sole provider of your household, let's start with the lowest one today, something that is affordable, something that is going to provide you adequate amount of coverage. And then if you want to adjust it down the road, maybe even on our annual review when we meet next year, we can do that as well. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, go ahead and grab your driver's license. I'll get this started for you.
That's smooth. Are you with the bank?
No. Wait, what part is this? Like an initial call?
Or yeah, if you're calling me like I'm a lead, like first time calling me, and I'm like, who is this?
No, I'm in the mortgage protection department here for Houston. We actually sent you out a bunch of those mortgage protection letters to you right after closing. Have you seen any of those come out to you, Jonah?
Have, yeah.
Yeah, that's just reminding you to get it set up. So my job is just to simply go over that with you. Do you have a pen and paper on hand?
Oh, that's gold. I like that. Yeah, that's just reminding you to get it set up. It's my job to go over that with you. Write that down. That's fire. I like that. Okay, cool. Damn, I'm trying to think of what else. It's yeah, honestly, if I don't know if it makes sense if I can't get the entire mortgage covered.
Okay. So Jonah, what kind of a car do you drive?
I drive a Honda Civic.
Honda Civic, okay. Now, if you couldn't get a Lamborghini, but you're all right with the Honda Civic, Um, hold on. This is one I've been kind of practicing on. I bunched that one up a little bit.
I'll give
Say that one again. I'll say my original one. I've been practicing on a couple other rebuttals. I tried giving this one a little too early to you guys.
No worries. Yeah, David, dude, I don't know. It's just like I either, it's all or nothing, man. It doesn't make sense. Why would I cover half, dude?
So, damn, bro, I don't really get that because I tear down that before I get into the. See, like, yeah, I don't get that one because I tear it down before we even get to that point and tell them like we can't do this because of your health, or I don't think a term product makes sense because of this reasons. Now, if you're gonna come back and say, hey, we wanted the full home covered, I'm gonna be like, well, hey, we can't get the full home covered. No one's going to approve you for that because of your heart attack back in 2015. Now, I can show you something that's going to cover your full home, but it's going to be another mortgage payment for you. And I'm trying to keep this so it's going to be able to stay in the budget for the next however long instead of the next 9 months.
That's so key. What Claudia said in the chat, the best way to overcome an objection is to not even get it. Acknowledge it before you get it. Okay. One more rebuttal for you, and then we'll move on. I already have life insurance through my job.
Again, I tear that one down before it even happens in the financial inventory. So, in that case scenario, they'll tell me they have work insurance. I'll ask, do you have anything outside of work? No, I don't. Okay. So I'm all for your work insurance, Jonah. I'm all for it because it's pennies on the dollar. Take advantage of it, max that puppy out. It's just nothing to bet the whole farm on because you do have to be actively employed for that to pay out. So if you become disabled, right, and you're on your FMLA and then you pass away in the hospital, well, guess what, Jonah? That's not going to pay out because you have to be actively employed. So it's as good as accidental. Again, take advantage of it because it's pennies on the dollar, but just don't bet the whole farm on it.
That's a good one. So acknowledging it before you get it. Okay. Sorry, I lied. One more for you. Why would I do that if my spouse can rent the house and pay the mortgage with that money?
Rent the house. Is your spouse going to stay in the home? Or is she going to bring in like a roommate?
Apparently, yeah. I think that would be,
Okay.
that's a unique situation. I've honestly never ran into that. But how would you handle that if you did?
So that would be something more in the financial inventory as well. If that would be me asking what they'd be doing with the home. If they're like, oh, they move in family members. Okay, great. Now, do you have a family member in mind? Or are you guys just assuming that someone would move in with you? We're just assuming that someone would move in with us. Okay, who would that be? And I'm going to break that down and have a conversation with them. Okay, so we don't know for sure that they would move in with you. Things can change in the next 5-10 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. So obviously we don't want to bet on that. We want to make sure that we're obviously going to get the payments covered on the home for the next however long until we can get someone moved into the house, if that's what you want to do, and if we can find somebody. Now, if we can't, and unfortunately you may have to sell the home, then you'll have a certain amount of time with the mortgage payments being covered to get that handled.
Exactly. Then that would be the perfect setup for an equity protection. So we really just need about a year mortgage payments to allow Mary to give her enough time to get out of her current lease, get moved in here and help take over the mortgage payments.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Who the hell's throwing me curveballs like that in this chat here?
That was a good one. Awesome. Well, let's do this for the last. Obviously, want to be respectful of your time, dude. But for the last couple minutes here, let's open it up, and anybody that has questions, drop them in the chat, and we'll go over everyone's questions.
I already dropped mine and it got ignored. I want David to go over his once he closed the deal, how he ties down the deal because
It's a good one.
he's good. And I
Yeah.
need everyone to be ready to write this down.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, if you don't want your policies to get stolen by me or anyone else in FFL or anyone else in insurance, this is how it's done. So let's start. I get the banking info, right? I put it in, boom, we know they're approved. Or as it's going through underwriting and giving me that answer, I'm saying, okay, guys, a couple things for you now. You can totally disregard the rest of that mail coming through. It should be slowing down here pretty soon. So if you get any more coming, just throw them away. We already got your file completed out. Now, Jonah, I want you to write down this confirmation code. Let me know when you're ready. It's
Okay, I'm ready.
T1037.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to put this someplace safe, because if someone else gives you a call and they don't have this code, they're not with me. So this is for your security, because there's a ton of scammers out nowadays. You never know who you're talking to, and artificial intelligence is getting out of control. So if you do
And
get bugged,
artificial intelligence is getting out of control. That's good.
so if you get someone calling you, give me a call, I'll handle it. Our offices have been having some poor communication lately. So I don't want to also have you sit through this whole meeting again and waste another hour going through the same stuff. Okay.
Bro, you know what's funny? I called the lady and I was like, she's like, oh, I already got this taken care of. I was like, perfect. Let me get your file updated for you. So you keep getting these calls. Which one of our companies were you helped with? She was like, well, what's the security code? I was like, excuse me? She's like, click. That was probably you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell them after that, okay, guys, I got some good news and I got some bad news for you. What do you want to hear first? Oh no. Well, the bad news. I'm like, all right. So Jonah, the bad news is you're going to be stuck with me for a lifetime. Okay, because I'm going to become your personal agent. Because the good news is we got you approved. So congratulations. And they're like, oh God. So that right there, you're like taking it away from them. And then they're like pulling it back. So it makes it even more valuable, the product to them, whether they like really wanted it or not. Like when you signed them up, like it just builds a little bit more value because you took it away from them. And then you'd be like, so congratulations. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. Be like, absolutely. Now I want to give you my contact information. Since I am going to become your personal agent, any questions, concerns, or in the worst event, if there's a claim to be made, you would contact me for that. That's the most important part of my job, is to make sure that you have someone on your side going through the worst time of your life. Okay, you don't want to have to deal with insurance companies. Let me know when you're ready for my name and number. And I have them put it in David Starr, mortgage protection guy. So if they forget my name, they can type in mortgage protection guy and find it pretty damn quickly. Now, Jonah, couple things for you. I always make sure, first and foremost, my clients get paper copies. You need something physical to hold on to and read through. So that'll be out to you in about 7 to 10 business days. Oh, thank you, David. I was just about to ask you that. Okay. And then I go, okay, now do you guys have any questions for me so far? No, we don't. You've done a great job. Okay, great. Now, guys, listen, I know you weren't expecting to have a new $120 a month payment, maybe when you woke up this morning when you got on the call with me, but just remember the importance of why we put this in place and what it's going to do for your family. Now, I can't convince you that you're going to enjoy paying this each month, but I can guarantee that this is going to be the bill that pays your other bills when you're not able to do so. Okay. So make sure you prioritize it. The first payment isn't coming out today. We've got 2 to 4 days from now. After that, every month on the 27th. So put that on your calendar. If you need to change it, let me know now, or you can call me later. If they don't say anything, then I keep going. And then I ask them once more, do you have any more questions for me? Anything at all? There's not a done question. No. Okay. Now, guys, last question for you. How did I do for you today? Oh, David, you did wonderful. Okay, like a thumb up or 2 thumbs up? 2 thumbs up. Okay, great. I'll put that in my review. Because who is going to call you back and tell you that they don't want it or that they changed their mind after you've done a 2 thumbs up job? You know? And then right after that, I just tell them, listen, it was a pleasure meeting you guys today. You guys were wonderful. I'm glad we could have a little bit of fun doing this as well, getting to know each other. Just to give you a little bit about me, I go a little bit into my story and how my father passed away, how he didn't have insurance at the time, how it made it rough for my family. So again, the importance of this is going to come right behind your mortgage bill, right? We might have to reprioritize some things in life if it gets tight. Get rid of the things that you can get back, like your Netflix or your Hulu. Prioritize this. I make it a point, bro. Like I go into that for like 5 minutes. And they're like, oh, for sure, David, we will.
Hammer on that. And I feel like some people like kind of say like, hey, you know, it's super important, blah, blah, blah. Like they tie it down, but they say it loosely. Like, dude, I really love how not only are you like, you know, you're saying it, but like you're really taking your time going through it. Like you're talking like slowly, clearly, controlled. And like you said, dude, you're freaking hammering it so the policy sticks. I mean, dude, you could sell a bunch of coverage, but if it all charges back, none of that matters. That's key, bro. I mean, dude, that's just like just in the last 2 minutes, that was so much value provided. I mean, dude, like if you called me up for mortgage protection and you helped me with the policy and you said that to me, I mean, dude, there's no way that I would be switching it over for the next dickhead that calls me just because they can save me $6 a month. It's like David's my guy, dude. David's my guy.
Dude, I got voicemails from my clients being like, I got literally 4 voicemails in my phone, and one of them is like this guy saying, I had this guy call me, David, saying he could give me a cheaper price, and long story short, I told him to fuck off. Have a nice day, David. You're my guy. Talk to you soon. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Those are the best voicemails ever. One more thing I do want to add in there too. Right when I tell them they get approved, this is very important. I forgot to add in. I always tell them what company we went through and why. So guys, I went through Americo for you guys today, as you seen through the confirmation text. The reason being is because they pay out 100% of the living benefits if anything would ever happen to you. And additionally, they are a top A-rated carrier, so they pay quick, and I mean quick. So I'm just assuming that you would want full access to that money if something happened, and that you do want something that pays out quick in the event of something happening, right? Yes. Okay, great. Because some other carriers out there, they have stipulations to where they only pay out a certain percentage of the living benefits, but you don't get to decide that. So I have a policy number for you. I'm gonna have you write that down, the monthly premium and the coverage amount. Your policy will be out to you in about 7 to 10 business days.
Damn. So you really take your time in the tie down.
Dude, yeah, dude. You know how many I was losing a lot of people off my books at the very beginning, and my 6-month persistency is a 96%. My 12-month is a 94%. No, I got those mixed up. 96 for 12, 94 for 6 month. And then my initial on Americo is 92. And you know, Bobby Bridges did confirm, not to toot my own horn, but I do have the best persistency in Americo ever. Not in just FFL, but in like insurance wide. So I think that has to do a lot with my tie downs and connecting with the client during my appointment.
Bro, that is so key. Like, I hope everybody took notes of that. And then if you didn't, we're going to be uploading this recording on YouTube of this call. But dude, go through your persistency again with Americo.
So I have a 96 for my 12-month, 94 for my 6-month, and then I think a 92 for my initial, but it is the best in Americo company wide. So, and that's all due to those tie downs right there.
That's solid, bro. That's freaking, I thought my Americo persistency was good, but dude, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, we got another good question here in the chat. Do you do referrals at all? Do you ask for referrals?
Yeah, I do. And I get their number on the spot. I always ask them towards the end if they have children. I always add on children's policies. I always sneak my way into there. I'd be like, oh guys, I just saw here they're willing to offer you a special for your children, $20K for $5 a month. that's ridiculous. And then I tell them the benefits of having that being young. And then from there, I ask for referrals for like emergency contacts. So at first I'll like when I'm getting beneficiary information, I'll get the this is where I ask for. I get the beneficiary and like, okay, I need 3 emergency contacts for if something goes wrong. They'll give me those names and then I'll ask them, do you think that this could be a product that could benefit any of those people that you had gave me as well? And like, yes. I'm like, okay, great. If you could do me a favor at the end of this, if you could just give them a call, let them know that I'll be calling them or texting them, see if we can find something that can put them in a good position as well. Very assumptive with it. It'll feel weird the first couple of times, bro. But like if they know the importance of it and like truly can see it for their family, they have no problem getting up there, not being like, okay, yeah, no problem.
Right.
And then whether they call them after or not, I don't care. I'm still gonna call and introduce myself.
Like what's worst case scenario? They say, oh, we already got our life insurance, so we don't want it. Like, okay, cool, no worries. Have a good one. Who gives a fuck? So, dude, and that's super key. Just like looking at every lead, not looking at it as like a lead sale, but looking at every lead as like, how can I maximize this lead? How can I generate referrals? How can I increase my percent? Like how all these like little things that makes your business so much more profitable. So wow, that was gold. I know we're running over on time, but this call was super, super valuable. Let's if we could, anybody that has, we'll do one more question and then we'll wrap this call up. Anybody? Going once?
I'll jump in with one there. What are your daily goals that you have for yourself when you're on like a dial day?
My daily goals are to sit with at least 4 to 5 people a day. At least 4 to 5 people a day. I don't care if it's appointment set. I don't have like a dial like goal because like yes, dialing does make you money, but what really makes you money is sitting in presentations. Booking appointments don't. So I just shoot because like if you think like setting 10 appointments a day or sitting in 2 appointments a day, like what sounds more difficult there? Probably setting the 10 appointments. So like if you just have your mind focused on, okay, I just had to sit with 2 people today, that's it. Dude, if you sit with 2 people a day for 6 days straight, that's 12 people for the week. If you were to book those appointments and you were really fucking good at booking, you're gonna have a 50% show rate. So like that right there, like that's like running 30 appointments for a week if you sit with 2 people out of those. If you sit with 2 people a day, that's like setting 30 appointments a week. Because less than half of those are going to show, that's like what fucking 3 or 2/5 of what would have showed up. Like my goal is just to sit with people, man. And like at the end of the day, I know I'm going to close at a like a 70, 75, 80% clip. So for me, the goal is just sitting.
That's solid. That's solid, bro. Well, if you could, cause there's actually quite a few new people on this call. And we both like went through like, I think everybody starting is like, they struggle. And I like, typically like when I was a new agent, like I thought I was the only, like, I thought like, oh, this is just hard for me. Everybody else gets it right away. Like I'm the only one struggling, trying to figure this out. So what advice did you have for, the new guy on this call that like, maybe he's afraid to reach out or he thinks he's the only one struggling to like, overcome that and become successful in this business?
My advice for them would be to get over yourself, dude. Like, just get over yourself, man. Like, I don't know why you're scared to reach out and try to like improve your craft. Like, this isn't a job. You know what I mean? Like this isn't something we can just come to mindlessly. Like you have to want it. And if you don't want it hard enough, it might just not be like your time. You got to find your why and your North Star and what's going to push you and wake you up in the mornings. because we all go through the same shit every day. Everyone does. It's just like how well or how are you going to overcome that adversity? Are you going to be able to just sit in that chair and just dial? Because no one likes dialing, dude. Like nobody likes it. Everyone loves sitting in appointments. We all go through the same shit, dude. You just gotta ask yourself, like, do you actually want it? So that's something like I really like didn't struggle with in the beginning because I wanted it. Like I wanted a change of life. Like I wasn't in a good place. So like if you didn't like where you were at or you're forgetting where you came from, like you have to remind yourself every day where you came from and like how your problems now compared to how they were before. And it's going to be hard to kind of compare that at the beginning because it's going to seem like way shittier at the beginning. But also looking back at your week's production and just seeing how much you've improved for the time being here. You know what I mean? Look back when you were first started and you didn't know even what life insurance was. And then look at to where you are right now and how much you know. So where can you be next week then? And use that as motivation. You know, use that as motivation so you can find your why.
100%. That's such gold. And it's funny, David, because we both have such similar backgrounds, dude. We're like, you know, we both had parents that passed away without life insurance. Like we both had issues with substance abuse, hitting rock bottom. We both worked shitty jobs before this where we weren't making dick or making any money. And it's like for me, dude, it was like coming into this, I didn't have a plan B. Like I was literally like, I'm gonna figure this out or I'm gonna be homeless. And I was just like so freaking sick of the person I was. Like I literally had to like completely reinvent myself. I was so freaking sick of living a lifestyle and just making shitty decisions and going down a shitty path in life. So I was like, dude, I'm either gonna like succeed at this or I don't know what's gonna happen, you know, type of scenario. And like having a why like that is super important. And honestly, I think especially as a guy, just hitting rock bottom at some point in your life and going through those struggles is super, super important.
Dude, you gotta hit rock bottom, bro. Like you gotta hit rock bottom to make it work. I fully believe that, man. And like I was always like when am I gonna hit rock bottom? When am I gonna hit rock bottom? And like I feel like you'll know. And like everyone's rock bottom is gonna be different. You know what I mean? But like when you're sick of tired of being fucking sick and tired of, dude, you'll make a fucking change. You will make a change.
When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's the key. Would you think that you would work as hard as you do now, or you would be as successful if you hadn't gone through those trials and tribulations?
No, I would have been too immature for it, man. I wouldn't have taken it like as a blessing as it is today. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that I would have worked as hard. I probably would have gave up a lot earlier. Just like, all right, on to the next thing. You know.
I'd have to agree with that, to be honest with you, man. So, awesome, dude. Well, David, dude, you're a freaking stud, bro. I mean, I appreciate you hopping on. You're building you got some, you're a stud yourself. You got some stud agents. You guys are growing like crazy. You guys are going to be doing $1 million a month here soon. So I've just enjoyed like seeing you guys grow and, you know, having some friendly competition, dude.
Yeah, it has been fun, man.
In closing, one last question for you. So you crushed it last month. You wrote 78K. You spent about 17,000 on leads, roughly. Do you think that you possess any innate special skills that anyone on this talent doesn't have? Like, do you have some special ability that someone on here does not possess? Or do you think you just go to work?
I think I just go to work. I've always been someone who's been able to communicate like or bullshit, not really communicate but bullshit with people. And like that's really what this is, man. It's just like not like bullshitting, but just like having fun with the appointment, being goofy, like being yourself. You know what I mean? And I guess I really can't say I've always been like that either. Nah, man, it was just like working hard. And I got like throughout the journey of going through the trials and tribulations of this business, like I really found, you know, or should I say starting to find like myself and like who I really am and you know what makes me tick. So I don't think it takes a skill, man. I just think that you have to want to change and you have to want to work hard for that. And you'll find it, man. Like everyone does.
Yeah, it's just all it is a numbers game. It's simply about going to work, plugging into the trainings, finding enough leads, making enough phone calls to make enough sales. People, it's not much more complex than that. It's like it's such a simple business. People overcomplicate it. But awesome, man. Well, hey, David, I appreciate you hopping on, dude. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help your team, man.
Cool, man. I appreciate you, Jonah, as always.
All right, guys, let's crush the rest of today.
See ya.